Hey, so like I said in one of my posts recently, I don't know if people see those on the YouTube channel, but I am very busy right now. Extremely busy. I'm recording this just so I have something to put out on Sunday, because Sunday's the first day that I will both get a chance to relax and have nothing to do, so I can just record one or two for the next week. But I was reminded of this stream clip that I have. In this stream clip, user -es3em, he responds to my "we should be asking for more tanks." I'll link it in the video if you want to see it, if you want to read what me and him talked about instead of listening to the video. This is just a open call and response, I would say. What do you guys think is wrong with the game? Or what do you think needs addressed with the game? Outside of the obvious nerf this, buff this, like just quality of life, do you think that there's something fundamentally wrong instead of just like a normal balance issue? Because I want to know. Please comment down below, watch the video, subscribe. I do read every comment, and I will be taking them in and maybe making videos on them, and I will shout you out, I promise, if I do that. So, yeah. Just go ahead. This is supposed to be like an open discussion, this kind of video, because I really want to know, what do you guys think about this stuff? And so in the stream clip you're about to see, it's just me talking about what our entire comment thread was, because it was a pretty long one of us talking about the problems, flaws, and strengths of tanks in this game. It was like 5-6 comments long, and so I just want to know what you guys think about that and other things with this game. I will see you guys when I have the time. Thank you for sticking with me. Here's the video. Alright, and before I do a different... Because I'm gonna do another review of the Ultimate Spider-Man real quick. Because I'll probably put them together tonight, throw them up, and that'll be Friday, Saturday. And then Sunday, might not have a video till much later, because if I don't have time to record something in advance, then I won't get to have anything up until when I get back on Sunday. But I did get a comment on my "we should be asking for more tanks," and it was something I think needs addressed. Oh, shoot, it's much longer than I thought it was. Alt build-up magnets, even if you're good on Thor or Rogue. So people say this, but why not rework the existing tanks so they can frontline? That's all I thought it was. Right. So my answer to that is, well, I think there's a few that can. Like Thing can build up his damage. If you increase the damage resistance, maybe not to his allies, but to himself, you could give him the ability to frontline as long as he is good at cycling that. You get good at cycling that and applying vulnerability. Do something so that way his damage resistance is worth using more often than not, because I'll gonna vulnerability almost every time, and wait, yes, and that's just not good. But I think there's a few tanks like that where you just one or two small changes can do it, but a full rework is bad for the game in a sense, because and I'm gonna type this out, you essentially take away a character. If we take Thor and we make him a purely frontline tank, frontline brawl tank, and he excels at being on the front line, but he brawls, you would have to rework his kit so much to the point where the original character is unrecognizable, and everybody who plays Thor now would have lost their character, right? And I think that's not a very good thing to do. But I'm going to read the rest of this and talk about it, because yeah. 3 reasons both tank roster. Poke slap cannot be countered by non-shield tanks. I disagree with that. I think poke tanks can be countered by non-shield tanks, but the DPS really enforce it. Because if you can't play Thing or Rogue or Thor against Punisher. the DPS prevent you from playing the tanks to counter their tanks, but the actual tanks, I think there's counterplay between the tanks, because you can play a lot of things to count in the tank role. Well, there's a few options. If you look at their team comp and they've got these two tanks, you can play a lot of different options to deal with those two tanks using the combination of them. But the problem is the DPS will keep you in check. So if they're playing Brawl DPS, go ahead. They're not playing Poke DPS. You could play Thing, you could play Rogue, you could do anything to brawl past their shield, make their shield irrelevant, or just mess them up. Play CC, play a bunch of like Rogue. If they're playing a lot of Poke DPS, like 2 Poke DPS, and they also play Rogue, I can't play Thing, because I will just get the poke slop, will just absolutely just beat my ass into the ground. But I can't really play a shield tank like Strange or Mag, because Rogue's just going to hit me with 3 different CCs, and the chances that they're not playing Invis or Gambit, like, I'm gonna get CC'd again by those guys. It's genuinely hellish because of DPS role, but I don't know how much you can do to change that without just nerfing all of Poke. Alt build-up magnets, even if you're good on Thor or Rogue, for instance, the negative alt economy just feeds into enemy DPS. You're penalized for playing a non-shield tank from the jump. I do agree with that. You're penalized for playing a non-shield tank from the jump. I agree with that, just because you feed DPS ults. But then again, it's only Poke DPS, because you're not penalized for playing Thor or Rogue if they're playing Magic and Iron Fist. It's just Poke DPS that I think are way too strong right now, that keep it in check, is what I mean, because the tanks have counterplay among themselves and like against the other characters in the game. But as soon as you pull up that Punisher, because Punisher's going to melt you from a distance, you get too close, he's got a shotgun for you. And sure, you can play around the shotgun, but you're still going to farm his ult just by existing, and by being healed, you're going to farm his ult, and now they even lowered his ult cost, so he gets it even faster. 0 sustain tools, no off-tank or even some of the main tanks can sustain attacks from multiple DPS or over an extended period of time without a support pumping heals into them. No independent movement is allowed for tanks, which is bad if you're playing any type of flank-based character. Yes, I definitely agree with that. I think I'm going to link another video when I respond to this, because I mentioned that. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just at a different point in this video and he didn't get to it. It's in one of the videos. I'll just say it. That's point. That's just how it is. You have to pump heals into them into this game. They have no damage mitigation. There's like no damage mitigation. Thor, half of their damage mitigation in this game is overshield. Like, they manage Thor's through how much overhealth he gets. Well, that doesn't help. Let's say as Thor, you're generating 100 overhealth per second. Well, Punisher does more damage than that. So yeah, you're like mitigating the damage, but he's just farming ult off of it, which is much different than Thor gains damage resistance. Right? If you gained damage resistance upwards of 50%, then instead of each bullet farming, because when you're playing DPS, all the damage you do is directly converted into ult charge. So if you do 32 damage, that's 32 ult charge. So Punisher gains 20 ult charge per bullet he lands, without critical headshots, right? So you're not really slowing down his ult charge. Whereas if you had 50% damage reduction, he would only get 10 per bullet, which actually does slow down ult charge. It slows down ult charge. It allows you to do damage mitigation, because even though Venom can gain extra health, it's just gaining more health for them to shoot through. It's not mitigating damage, and it definitely does not mitigate damage for your team, which is why they can't perform on the front line. Because he says this, well, how do you fix this? Well, the solution is already in the game, Venom. Oh wait, blue health equals no ult charge, so half of Venom's tank damage does not stack ult. I did not know that. I knew it was less, but I didn't know it was 0. Okay, so the blue health is no alt charge. That's something I just didn't know. Okay, good to be educated. High sustain. Venom has insane damage and sustain and survive into poke comps with mobility on the back foot. Yes. Every tank needs to have the ability to generate bonus in some way. Cap and Angela should not have cooldowns on block. Hulk's bubble should block significantly more damage, and the thing should have damage reduction on an independent cooldown with a bumped up value to 30 or even 40%. DPS should not be able to kill tanks alone. It's like health in this game is meaningless with the excessive damage. Reply. I agree with a lot of the points made. Actually, for Venom and Thing. For Venom, Thing. I agree. In the other tanks. That's the best way to say it. I mentioned them. And then I'm going to say the solution, because Cap shouldn't be able to generate bonus health on top of having that shield. They should just increase his shield value. Angela can generate bonus health, but only when she's not holding the shield, right? And so I think that's the difference maker. Yeah, no cooldown on having the shield up would be that would fix a lot of Cap's issues. It would also add more if you're only playing Cap casually and you don't really know what you're doing, because you'll put the shield up too often, preventing it from cooldown and then gaining health back. I do the same thing on Strange sometimes. I don't even let it go up. But yeah. But I'm gonna finish with, I don't think full reworks is the solution though. If you rework someone like Thor so that he excels on the front line, then the original character can become lost in the process, and I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good. I think the blue health, the overshield, their shields are good for the tank themselves, but damage themselves, but they lack the ability to share this with their team, which prevents them from being too helpful on the front line. Even if they had stronger defensive ability, even if they got shields on their abilities. That's my That's the same problem I have with Mr. Fantastic. I think Hulk's bubbles not having enough health is the biggest sign of the, what did he say? Of the excessive damage in this game. Period. He was one of the first heroes designed, and to my knowledge, the shield health hasn't changed. Just shows how much damage because, like, Mr. Fantastic, even if you're good with him, you survive a long time, but you don't share that with your team in any way. Put an enter there. I don't think the solution is reworks that or something like that. I don't think that's good. And that's how they... The biggest problem is the sheer amount of damage, though. Hard to balance anything until that gets worked out. Because, like, I mentioned a character, like, because in this video, this is the one where I reacted and I was like, I think that these are some not very good points. And in that original video, I mentioned that maybe instead of an actual shield, he puts up a barrier, and anything that passes through the barrier, whether it be, like, anything that passes through the barrier, even if your fist passes through it, unless you're on the other side of the barrier when you attack, you have reduced damage, which means that he gives reduced damage to his entire team, and that would be really good, right? That'd be really good. That'd be a shield tank, quote unquote, without it being a traditional shield. It's a new thing that you can make a whole new kit around, and it helps his team. The problem with a lot of the tanks is, one, there's a lot of not needed damage. The damage is just so fucking high in this game, and then on top of that, you have this insane lack of damage negation. Like, not negation, damage mitigation, and the shields that are in the game don't do a lot. Like, Cap has a shield and it does not do much. It's got like 250 health, I think, maybe 350 health, and you have to wait 3 seconds to even put it in the air, and you have to wait even longer if you want to use it multiple times, or if you want it to, like, refresh. That's not very good. And so I could have made a whole video off of that, but maybe I will. Maybe that's Sunday's video. Now we're thinking with portals.